Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021 and extended again by Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting will be conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so in the following manner by either emailing Steve McCarthy or clicking on the Zoom link on the town hall page. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so for reasons of economic hardship and despite best efforts, we will post on the Amherst website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. With that done, we'll call the meeting to order at 5:41 p.m. and take a roll call of attendance. Hallie.
Here.
Amanda.
Here.
And I'm here. That is 3 present and 2 absent. The first up are licenses, and we have some special short-term license applications, and there are 2 different groups of them. One is UMass, the other one is the Amherst bid. So let's go for special short-term license SST 25-26 through 30. That's William Trisbett, Top of the Campus Inc., all alcohol for the Worcester Diamond Commons.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
I'm
Hi.
great. How are you guys tonight?
Good, thank you. So this is for the summer?
Yeah, it's the like the sidewalk cafe area that they set up outside of Worcester, DC. They started doing it a couple of years ago. It's been, mildly popular. So they want to do it again this summer. Same situation. They put up stanchions around the area and one entrance and one exit. They have a cash bar and a little dining area. People can buy food. I think Baby Burke, the food truck, is going to set up out there this year too to try to do something a little different. But yeah, so that's basically the gist of it. I think it's 5 dates they're going to do. So.
Okay, wonderful. Any questions about this? No. Steve, is anything outstanding on these licenses, or is everything
Nope, these are all set to go.
set to go? Okay, and everything is as it has been done in the past, correct?
Correct.
All right, fantastic. So if there are no other questions, is there a motion to approve SST 25-26 through 30?
So moved.
Thank you, Hallie. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Amanda. We'll take a vote. Hallie?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That is 3-0 with 2 absent, and the licenses are approved. Thank you so much for coming in.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. I'll have a great night, okay?
All right, you too. Bye.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Steve. Bye-bye.
Okay, so next up, SST 25-31 through, how many are this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this another 5?
Another 5, yep.
Yeah, do 35, Robert Allingham, BID, that's Amherst bid, wine and malt. From, it looks like June through August on the town common. Hi, is it Robert? Hello?
Don't believe we're able to hear you, Robert. Looks like you unmuted, but we can't hear you.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hi,
we can now.
I can hear you now. Welcome.
Perfect. Hello. Yes. So yes, similar to Bill, the sort of setup, we're going to have looking for a perimeter of the Amherst Common, 1 entrance, 1 exit. It'll be beer, cider, and wine. And we did the summer concert series last year. We're looking to do the same this year for 5 Fridays throughout the summer. There won't be any food. It's just going to be the concert and the beer, wine, and ciders.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions about this from the commission?
Are there any rain dates or?
We don't have rain dates, no. So it's just going to be those dates. And there'll be, I think we're looking at 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours in advance if we are going to be calling the event off due to weather.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Steve, anything outstanding for these?
Nope, these are all approved, paid up, and ready to go.
All right, and everything is going to run that as it has in years past, correct?
Correct.
All right, wonderful. If there are no other questions from the commissioners, let's have a motion to approve SST 25-31 through 35.
Motion to approve.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Hallie. We'll take a vote. Amanda?
Aye.
Hallie?
Aye.
I vote aye. That is 3-0 with 2 absent. The licenses are approved. Thank you so much for coming in. Best of luck with your concert series.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Have a good
Thank you.
evening.
Bye.
All right. So B, review of lunch cart food truck enforcement. And Steve, you sent around a couple of documents with some pictures from Rob.
Yes, so Rob observed that the food trucks, those two particular food trucks had been left out. Just pulling it up here, had been left out and parked in the street for, I believe, 2 days. He elected to issue a warning to Istanbul Kebab, as Only Kebab has received these violations before. He used the provision under, I believe it is section 12 of the lunch cart food truck regulations, where the building commissioner can immediately suspend a license to operate for significant violations to be reviewed at the next board license commissioners meeting. This was done last Monday, I believe, last Tuesday, sorry. Excuse me. And he ultimately did meet with the operator of Only Kebab and had a conversation regarding license requirements and parking. And he elected to rescind that suspension on Friday, last Friday. So no action now is needed by the board, but these are just provided as a review of the actions taken and keep you updated.
Great.
All right. Thank you. Great. Okay, any questions about this? So everything is working the way it should, I suppose.
Yep. So those have been issued and rescinded in that case and on the record. So yep,
If there's another issue, we at least have that as prior.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Steve. All right, and now we're going to move on to the review of food truck lighting. Again, so there are pictures from 2 of them, but not New York Halal. Is that, did you include a picture from?
He has no lighting, so I figured I would just put it on the
Oh.
agenda for that to be recognized. And for those of you who weren't here at the last meeting, we did have Istanbul Kebab's lighting plan there to review at the last in-person meeting. And the board was generally in agreement by consensus that the spotlights at the top were too bright and should probably be removed or replaced with some kind of downcast fixture. And the board elected to continue it at that point and invite the licensee in to discuss that and go through that and see what they thought. And I did invite them to this meeting, but it does not look like they made it.
Okay.
And Only Kebab is new for this meeting. They provided that to me since the last meeting, and they were also invited, and it does not appear they made it either. So
Okay. So what do we do? How do we communicate with them? So was it decided that they should change their lighting, or, I mean, what kind of action?
So I think last time for Istanbul Kebab, the board agreed by consensus that a change should be made, but they didn't want to necessarily mandate that before a conversation. I'm
Okay.
I'm pulling up the regulations now just to review that section. So under 9.05, it says that only exterior lighting approved by the board should be used. So normally this would happen at first time of license renewal, but since this is a new requirement that was put in the middle of the year, it's not really clear exactly how that would be adapted to for an existing licensee. So I thought the best way would be to have them submit their plans and the board could review their lighting and approve or disapprove as relevant. So
Okay, that sounds good. Does that
Sounds
sound
good.
Everybody else? Okay, so you'll ask them for their plan and they will submit it to you. And then hopefully we'll go over it at the next meeting.
What's the date that they have to submit it by?
So that's not really, I mean, the board could set one. The regulations are kind of silent, on this kind of adoption phase, because
I
normally,
feel like we should set a date. Just because they didn't come tonight, so I feel like if we don't set a date, there's no way to hold them to it.
yeah,
What sounds like
um,
a timeframe, like, what do you think?
they
30
could be invited to the next meeting and asked to, because I think the board was agreed last time generally that it would be good to have a dialogue with them about it. The board could just, approve or disapprove anything now. But the board had agreed that it would, at least for the other one, it would be better to try to involve them in a discussion and
Right.
communication with them. So they could be
So
invited
we,
to the next meeting maybe.
well,
And
I
if,
don't know, you asked them to come for a dialogue today and they didn't come, so why do we have to keep asking them to come for a dialogue? They didn't come tonight, so why can't we just make a decision?
very
I
fair.
feel like we go back and forth, especially with some stuff and, I don't know, it's just especially with other stuff we previously discussed, I'm kind of ready to just make decisions.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair. If the board wanted to make a motion on which components of those lightings to approve and disapprove, that could certainly happen too.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess, I mean, I know it would be good if the other people were here tonight, just so that, we had more board members involved. I mean, I'm okay with giving them a date to submit the plan, like they didn't come tonight, we invited them for a conversation, but I don't really, I guess my opinion is that since we invited them for a conversation that they didn't come up to, now I just want a plan from them. Without a
Yeah,
if they
I mean, I think
don't-
I
So
I
if they
think-
Approve or
don't
not
submit
approve.
if they don't submit a plan within 48 hours before our next meeting, we have the right to revoke their
Yeah, no,
license.
I don't, sure, whatever date is, just some sort of deadline, yeah, whatever.
yeah, I mean, I think the pictures are what they tried to submit as a plan.
Oh,
Well,
pictures that you sent were that's their lighting plan.
I think that's, yeah, I think that's what they submitted in response to those requirements. So
Oh.
I did ask for only kebab. That's the only lighting he has, those two spotlights.
So the Istanbul kebab, that is their lighting plan, or that is a picture that somebody took?
That is what they provided.
So they provided that and only kebab provided a picture of his lighting as a lighting
Yeah,
plan.
so
Okay.
both of those attached documents are what they provided. Yep.
So we've been supplied
Okay.
with the lighting plan. Okay. So now we just
Okay.
want, and was it discussed at the last meeting if Istanbul Kebab's lighting plan or their lighting, were there complaints about the lights on Istanbul Kebab's truck?
I believe there have been complaints about the high wattage spotlights pointing out into traffic. Yeah,
And so
they're
at the last
excessively
meeting-
bright.
At the last meeting, you discussed so are only Kebab's lights fine? Did you talk about this at the last meeting?
So only kebab wasn't discussed. That was provided since the last meeting. Istanbul kebab was provided, the blurry ones at night, and the board did agree. The board did come to a consensus that the spotlights were too much and should be either removed or replaced with something much more downcast.
Okay,
Kind of accordance in a similar way to the way the downcast lighting standards of the ZBA work, but rather than, issuing that as a formal approval at that point, the board continued the discussion today to invite them in.
so could you send them, you, by we, I mean you, I suppose.
The royal we.
Could you send them an email or communicate with them that we have received their lighting plan? Their lighting plans do not meet the requirements of the Board of License Commissioners for lights which are safe in the community, and their presence is requested at the next meeting where we will make a decision, or they can come up, and in the meantime, they should come up with a new lighting plan, something like that. Can we do that? Does that sound good to everybody?
Yes.
yeah,
I can
that-
write a letter to that effect. Yep.
Something like that, that they have to be there with a better idea, some kind of solution to that lighting at the next in-person meeting, which is
And
what,
well, and specifically, just so that it's clear to them, it's just to remove or to fix those two spotlights. So when they come in, they don't still have those spotlights. They know that that's what had to be fixed.
Yeah, and by fixed, would the board be looking for just removal or some kind of downcast lighting?
Sure.
I
I think that's a
either-
question.
Either or, is that fine, or removal?
Either
or-
or. Either or.
Remove or downcast.
The
Okay.
solution to consist of one removal of the two, whatever they're called, spotlights, or shade, oh no, don't say shading them, because I can't imagine what they might put over them, or put them in some way. You don't like, you know what I'm saying?
So,
Remove
so
them,
I,
remove them or replace with a downcast fixture.
Exactly.
Okay.
Fixture.
That's better.
so
Oh,
the,
hey, Kurt.
Apologies.
So Kurt, we're reviewing the food truck lighting, and if you look at the pictures which Steve sent around from Istanbul Kebab and Only Kebab, and I know you probably looked at Istanbul Kebab's lighting, and so with those two glaring spotlights beaming out into traffic, and so neither of them have showed up to this meeting, which they were invited to. So Steve is going to send a letter to Istanbul, or email or whatever, to Istanbul Kebab saying, we have received your lighting plan. Please note it that those spotlights do not meet with the approval. Board of License Commissioners, please replace or alter in some way, and also please turn up at the next meeting.
Okay.
Vote against them and take more action.
Sounds good.
That's where we're at.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
so maybe that would be a motion, and I have that the board intends to send or I guess how would you word the motion? Maybe a motion that the board does not approve the bright spotlights on both of those trucks, and their presence is requested their presence shall be requested at the next meeting to submit and discuss an alternative lighting plan with either downcast lighting or remove spotlights.
That sounds good. Would anyone like to make that motion?
I'll make it.
Thank you, Amanda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Helly. And we'll take a vote. Helly,
Aye.
Amanda,
Aye.
Bert,
Aye.
and I vote aye. That is 4-0 with one absent. That motion is approved. And thank you so much, Steve, for taking care of that.
No problem.
Okay, anything else on review of food truck lighting? So do we need to talk about Only Kebab? How is their lighting looking? Have there been complaints about them, or are they?
So to be clear, was that motion for Istanbul Kebab, that previous motion?
That was for Istanbul Kebab.
Okay,
And then I don't know if Only Kebab, have there been complaints about them? Or do those lights? Have you seen them?
I've received complaints just about bright spotlights on the top of food trucks. I don't know if they're really specific, pointing out into the North Pleasant Street traffic. I don't know if the complaints were specific as to which vehicle it was.
Oh, okay. I took a brief look at Only Kebab's lights. They didn't look quite as, let me just see if I can get that out here. So Only Kebab has, so they have those two lights on the end, and they seem to be they're slightly pointing out, in towards the center area, right?
They
Where the customers stand.
yeah,
Are they?
it appears the one on the left is bigger than the one on the right, or maybe it's just the angle actually if you look at the reflection, but it does seem to be more not pointed directly out.
I actually saw that after our last meeting, I went downtown to get some dinner, and I actually saw Only Kebab's lighting, and I thought it was fine. Not that that matters, I don't know, but it didn't seem too bright, those two spotlights, because I looked at it, 'cause I was like, oh, is that Istanbul kebab. I was like, no, that one, it looked okay to me. And we don't know if they've had complaints or they have had complaints.
I've received just generic complaints about bright spotlights on the top of food trucks, kind of interfering with night vision for people driving by on North Pleasant Street.
Okay.
They don't really think the complaints were specific as to which
Oh.
vehicle.
It doesn't seem like these are quite as the other ones definitely are pointing out. These seem like they're a little bit angled. I mean, I guess we can see if the complaints dry up if we get the other ones fixed.
All right, so should we just hold off on only kebab for the time being? What do you think? And then make sure that we get Istanbul kebab to the meeting next time, and just take them one at a
Yeah,
time.
I mean, I guess if there haven't been complaints specific to only kebab, then this really isn't a problem, I don't think.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we don't know if people have, because there haven't been specific enough, so why bring them in? And I've seen them and I thought they were okay.
Okay.
Like I saw them at night.
Right. All right. Well, maybe did you write back to them after they submitted their lighting plan?
Yes, I invited them to this meeting.
Okay, great. Wonderful. So would you think we need to invite them? We probably don't need to invite them to the next meeting. Or should we just invite them again?
I guess, are there questions the
I was
board
gonna say,
has
what
about
would
the
the
plan?
point be to
What would the point
talk?
be? Well, let's hold off on only kebab. And if we get a complaint, we'll worry about it. We'll worry about them.
Yeah.
then. Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So does the board approve the lighting plan?
I think I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is
I do.
there a motion?
Motion to approve the lighting
Is there a second?
for only kebab.
For only kebab?
I'll second that one.
Thank you, Hallie. Let's take a vote. Hallie,
Aye.
Amanda,
Aye.
Kurt,
I wish we'd kick it down the road a little bit, but okay, aye.
okay. And I vote aye. So that's 4-0 with one absent. The lighting plan for only kebab has been approved. So what did you, okay, I think it'll be fine. All right. Okay, so nothing else. We've done food truck lighting. So now topics not reasonably anticipated 48 hours prior to the meeting. Any topics?
I don't have any.
No. Anyone else? Unanticipated topics?
No.
Okay, great. And so the next meeting is scheduled for, should be June 5th. Is that correct? In person?
Yeah.
Is it the 5th of those? I believe it might have been the 12th. Let me check.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I had the 12th because it's the second and the fourth Thursday of every month. So
correct.
we're sort of
Alright. the 12th. So the next
just
meeting,
because there's an extra Thursday.
right, is
Well,
June
not an extra.
June 12th, 5:30.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah.
floor.
I will not be making that one.
Okay,
If we need a quorum, I can Zoom, but I'm gonna be heading down to the city for my brother's wedding that weekend, so.
okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So June 12th, 5:30. And
I can call in if you need a quorum.
okay, sounds good.
I promise I won't take my dog for a walk on a muddy day again.
Okay.
Yeah.
By
And
the
I just
creek.
I won't forget. I'll remember.
That one will
Sorry.
be in person, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so an in-person meeting. Great, so we've covered topics not anticipated, and now we come to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Hallie. Is there a
Second.
second? Thank you, Amanda. All in favor? Oh, wait, we're doing this by Hallie. We're taking a vote. Hallie,
Aye.
Amanda,
Aye.
Kurt.
Aye.
And I vote aye. That is 4-0 with one absent. We are adjourned at 6:05 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Marion,
Thank
for
you.
leading.
Thank you
Bye.
all.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Bye, Steve.
Take care.